Gospel according to Jason. Today, I wanted to talk about vegetarianism. Yes, vegetarianism. I am a vegetarian. Don't hate me yet. Just keep watching. I actually got this topic from the best actor in the world, Kike. And he told me he would really like me to discuss this because it's a bigger conversation than I think a lot of people know. And it's really kind of cool, but it gets a huge reaction from people who are not vegetarians. And I'll go into that too, but a little bit about it. This is all going to sound very strange, but if you know me, you know I am strange. But the events of 9/11 really affected me. I'm not saying it didn't affect a lot of people. I know it did. But for some reason, it really, really affected me in a way that I started doing a lot of self-evaluation. At the time, I self-evaluated, kind of like the image, your own self-image, the country's image, religious believings, why people believe what they do, why they were in conflict with us, a whole heap of stuff, okay? And this probably went on for about a year or so. And at the conclusion, I started really thinking about religion a lot, why I believed what I believed. Was it real? Mythology? Geography? Why exactly do I believe what I believe? And furthermore, why do you believe what you believe? Yay. So then I started down that path, and about a year after that, I had made up my mind that I don't think I should be eating animals. And the reason why was strictly and totally for animal rights. It had nothing to do with health, had nothing to do with cholesterol or bad habits, or I was fat or whatever. It had to do with, I just don't think this is right. And that's why I started becoming a vegetarian. Ultimately, I tried the first time and completely failed. Why did I fail? Because to get that, I didn't do it right. I was basically a vegetarian that didn't like vegetables. There we go. So of course, that's successful. And I pretty much filled up on carbs, sugars, processed, just all the bad stuff. I mean, everything but, fruits, vegetables, nuts, beans, things like that. So of course that was not really going to work, and it didn't. I just got very fat. And ultimately, when I went into management training in the restaurant business, I was required to taste a lot of food to understand how it was cooked, how to make it, things of this nature. And in my head, I kind of bought into that whole, how in the hell can I learn how to make this food or even describe it to people if I don't eat it? And of course, most of it is, meat. Most of it is fish, chicken, cow. I mean, all of the meats I had to taste and, see what that was like. Ultimately, that put me back on the path of eating, just like most people, a meat eater again. And I mean, I was raised in Kansas where pretty much that's what you ate. You had, meat and milk, and that's what made you, some cornbread, and things like that. So it was back to my regular diet, okay? But ultimately, so I kind of put that animal rights shit way in the back of my head and didn't think about it for a while. But then it came roaring back. Why? I'm really not sure. But about 2 or 3 years later, I really started thinking, you know what? I don't want to eat any more animals at all, period. So ultimately, it led me back to vegetarianism. And in August 2011, I stopped eating meat officially. I don't remember the day, but ultimately it was August 2011. So every year on August 1st, I think that's my self-anniversary for being a vegetarian. So I'm coming up on 7 years this year. And at 7 years, if science is correct, every cell and molecular part of my body has been reconstructed completely. So that means that hopefully there's no cell that was, created by eating, corpse. So at any rate, I am a lacto-ovo vegetarian where I have eggs and I have dairy. I'm not a vegan. Batman, bless you people. I mean, awesome. I can't believe you can do it. And I mean, you're awesome. I take my hat off to you. But I lift weights and I work out and blah, 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 and listen to all my excuses. And so I'm a lacto-ovo so that I can, have a lot more protein than a vegan normally would. So at any rate, the second time it worked and never went back, and I felt great. I am not a psycho-vigilant vegetarian. What is a psycho-vigilant vegetarian? Is someone that just freaks out and thinks they have to make themselves throw up if they ate meat and throw things at their server if bacon was on top of a salad, or is that one person that's in a crowd of people that make them feel awkward because, well, there's nothing here for me to eat. Well, I'm not that, okay? Ultimately, it has happened, several times in this last, 7 years where something comes up to me and I ordered it without meat, bacon, this, that, or the other, and it has it in it, and I just, either scrape it off, ask them politely if they could remake it, something of that nature, because no one likes a vigilant psycho asshole, vegetarian or vegan. They just, and I get it. Some people it's their religion and things, and I understand that. I've been in the restaurant business a long, long time, okay? But ultimately, I am not that person because I know mistakes happen. I've worked on the other side. Now, here's what I would like to talk about specifically, because I could see a lot of people want to know, well, how do you do it? And don't you get hungry? And my God. Well, ultimately, no. With eggs and dairy and beans and nuts and salads and fruits and tofu, and there's just, I can't tell you the options that you have. And you fall back in love with food, by the way. But, the animal rights thing is really where it's at. I don't believe we should be eating other sentient beings, creatures that know I'm alive, have feelings. They've now decided that animals, they used to say they have about the feelings, emotional intelligence of a 3-year-old. Now they're saying it's actually 5-year-old. So it'd be like taking a 5-year-old child and saying, hey, I hope you had a good time here. We're going to eat you now. I mean, that's just, it's not right, in my opinion. Now let's get to this. Something in society, particularly American society, is very tolerant of other people's views face to face. Okay, not on the internet or where they can't be like in a civil discourse, but face to face, there's a lot of stuff that people have learned, even if they don't agree with it, to just nod their head and go, oh, okay. I mean, whether it's religion, whether it's sexuality, whatever have you. Up until the last several years, I would throw politics in there too. Not anymore. But at any rate, there is something in people that really, really, there's an inner outrage when you tell them you're a vegetarian. Because it happens. You'll be with your work buddies. You'll be with someone. You'll be with someone you don't know. And then you're like, well, I'm going to have this or that. And you're in a rib house and you're having fried pickles and a salad. And they're like, we're in a rib house, bitch. And the thing is that ultimately then you're like, well, I'm a vegetarian. And yeah. And then there's like, why? Why in God's name would you be a vegetarian? I mean, it's like, you just said that you worship Satan or something. And then here's what I've learned to do. I've learned to say, oh, it's for health. Because people seem to, okay, and everyone gets back to eating like, oh, his heart sucks or something like that. He's watching his cholesterol or something. And then they let it go. But the minute you say, for animal rights, I don't believe in eating animals. Oh, shit. It's on. People literally like, oh, so I'm the asshole, huh? Okay. I don't know if there's an inner guilt or if people believe the same thing I do. It's just like, well, double quarter pound's fucking good, pal. I'm eating it. I'm really not sure. But they come back very hard like, well, I couldn't do that. Well, golly gee whiz. Well, ha ha ha. Well, I don't know, like you're a wuss or something. And you're like, I could bench press your family. Would you please just get back to making your cholesterol off the charts? And the thing is that ultimately, they don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. If they could see, if like I think Paul McCartney said, if there was, slaughterhouses that were glass where you could see through, people just stop eating all day. If they had to kill their own food, they would stop eating the meat too. I can guarantee you. Now, if you're a hunter and you're this and I get it, okay? I get it. I totally understand. I understand. If I was trapped in a cave and there was nothing there but like canned meatballs, I would eat them, okay? But in today's society, we're able to find better protein sources, actually, healthier protein sources than meat, or what I like to call corpse. Literally, you're eating a corpse, okay? We can call it meat all you want, but that's what we're eating here when we eat that. So the thing is that it really gets a sort of outrage from people. So I stopped talking about it. I didn't even tell them. I'd be like, oh, my health sucks. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to lose some weight. That's another thing, idiots. They think, oh, he must be trying to lose weight. You can get fatter being a vegetarian than if you eat lean protein. I did it the first time. I screwed up completely. I was like, a blimp. So the thing is that ultimately, that's not it. But it is bizarre because people obviously have some inner guilt when you bring up, I'm doing it for animal rights. And I know a lot of people have come back and go, oh, you've been watching YouTube. Did you watch those videos? Well, Yeah, absolutely. And you should too. Go ahead and watch some PETA videos, or even to hell with PETA. Just watch any videos on slaughtering of animals or where chicken nuggets come from or anything. And I guarantee you, it's some pretty goddamn horrific shit. So at any rate, that is why I became a vegetarian. It's something that a lot of people ask me about, and they ask me, how do you do it? I don't have any tried and true method. I don't know, because everyone likes different foods. I mean, you go to somebody's house, they have steak and potatoes every night. You go to someone else, they have a salad and, rice pilaf or whatever. Everyone likes a different thing. So you just have to find the vegetarian items that make you happy and fill you up and you get used to it. But I can tell you, I just got blood work done about 5 months ago, and my good cholesterol, I was told by Dr. Ed, another good friend of mine, that he said, you couldn't even pay money to get a drug to make your good cholesterol as good as you have it. And I said, well, what is that from? He said, without a doubt, you've been a vegetarian for 7 years. He goes, without a doubt, that's what it is. So I can say it's for health because it's actually healthy, but that's not the reason I did it. But it's interesting because, Kike asked me to talk about the vegetarianism, and also Commander Cody's a vegetarian. I think he's just a year behind me, and I mean, he's huge. He's huge. I'm huge. You can still keep your muscle mass and things of this nature by being a rabbit. You can do it. So ultimately, if you've ever been interested in being a vegetarian, you can always reach out to me, contact me. I can tell you how my hits and misses, but ultimately, don't be swayed by being around family members or people who are like, oh my God, he thinks he's better than us because of animal rights. Well, whatever. That's your deal. That's your problem. That's not my problem. I just don't want to eat a corpse anymore that knew it was here. Thank you very much. Anyway, so I thought that I would talk about vegetarianism and why I'm a vegetarian. And if you're interested, do it. Give it a try. What's the problem? Try a week. Try a week. And then after that, when you fail, because you will, go for a month. It is what it is. So, yay. Anyway, I was happy to talk about this. Thank you for the topic, Kike. And looking forward to talking about some other stuff later. Thank you very much.